music to your business. Get your degree online from the Los Angeles Film School. Newburgh police in Orange County, New York, are looking for those responsible for a shooting that injured 4 teenagers. The mayor and community members there were on the streets today demanding something be done about the gun violence plaguing the city's young people. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis has more.
Disturbing video shows a fight in the street Wednesday afternoon, followed by the sound of gunfire and teens literally running for their lives. Newburgh police were alerted to the gunshots on William Street and found a crime scene spanning several blocks. 4 teens ages 16 to 18 were shot.
In this incident, 4 different handguns were discharged. 17 shell cases were recovered from multiple scenes.
Investigators released new video which shows injured teens trying to get into cars and a suspect next to a school bus firing his gun allegedly toward police.
This is a call for action for all the stakeholders in this community to act and to address our troubled youth.
The shooting prompted the 2-day closure of some Newburgh Free Academy campuses and a peace walk Friday afternoon.
We need help identifying who these kids are.
This gathering, organized by SNUB, Newburgh's anti-gun violence outreach program, funded by the state's Division of Criminal Justice Services, made up of community members like Lorenzo Charles.
To have this presence is something I didn't have when I was this age. So to be out here to give these kids an opportunity to know they have an alternative to that decision.
Jamaica Hall lost her 17-year-old son, DeMarcus Hooper, to gun violence, joining this walk and spreading awareness of her Newburgh support group in his memory.
My goal for this space is to ultimately become like a teen drop-in outreach center where it's surfaced around families and teens that are going through trauma or tragic loss.
Police say 1 teen remains hospitalized in stable condition. The other 3 have been discharged. No suspects have been identified just yet, but are believed to be younger group-involved members tied to the city. In Newburgh, Orange County, Jenna DeAngelis, CBS 2 News.
I'm Bill Ritter. We do talk a lot about gun insanity here on Eyewitness News these days, and tragically, it was on full display across New York City yesterday. 9 shootings on Memorial Day. 9 shootings, a total of 15 victims.
7 of those shootings happened in a span of just 6 hours between 4:45 in the afternoon and 10:40 at night. And there was gun violence in all 5 boroughs. One person, a 15-year-old, was killed.
We'll say that again. A 15-year-old was killed. In one of those shootings, 5 people were hurt. This exclusive video of that shootout in the Bushwick section of Brooklyn. Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett obtaining this video, and he joins us live at the scene now.
Right, Bill, Mayor de Blasio told me today that he can feel it in his bones. The city of New York is turning around. But try telling that to the people of Bushwick, Brooklyn, or the people in Queens, Manhattan, the Bronx, or Staten Island. Yes, there were shootings last night in all of those places. 5 people shot here on this street corner alone.
I wasn't here, so I'm glad I wasn't here.
Neighbors know how lucky they were. It was just before 8 p.m. 2 groups of young men are standing outside the neighborhood bodega. Suddenly, one of them opens fire, and it's pandemonium. 5 will be hit with gunshots to the chest and back, in the arms and legs. Amazingly, no bystanders were wounded, but it was only one of several shootings last night. In just 6 hours, there were 7 shootings with 13 victims. One of them, a 15-year-old in Harlem, was killed. A rising tide of gun violence that touched every borough last night. And it all comes as police have struggled for weeks to control violent assaults in the New York City transit system. Today, we asked Mayor de Blasio to explain what's happening and what he's doing about it.
What do you say to people who believe that the crime genie is out of the bottle and you don't know how to stuff it back in?
I understand the fear. I really do. And there's a persistent concern, which I've heard now for decades in this city, of are we going to go back to the bad old days? And I really try my best to help people understand there are so many reasons why that is not going to happen.
The mayor believes that a return to normal economic activity will stem the tide, as well as a fully functioning court system.
But so far, the surge in shootings this year is up to 573, leaving a trail of 652 victims, an increase of 78% over 2020. But the mayor believes his policing strategy will ultimately prevail and insists he's focused on the future.
I'm convinced we are going to turn this city around and have
We're going to turn this city around and have
mistake. And the mayor is absolutely got it reversed. Safety produces activity. Activity is not going to produce safety. We have to make the place so safe people want to come and visit and enjoy it.
Well, Mayor de Blasio told me today he is convinced that the same policing strategies that drove crime down before the pandemic will work after the pandemic. He continues to insist it is only a matter of time.
Attention. Stop delivering other people's food to make extra cash when you get paid to. live. We got it! Got it.
In Queens, police are looking for the killer who shot a man point blank. The murder was caught on camera in Far Rockaway. CBS 2's Natalie Duddridge spoke to the young man's father, still in disbelief.
When I look at the video, it really hit me, man. It looked like an execution.
Surveillance shows 26-year-old Peter Panthier Jr. walking with an unidentified man down an alley near Grassmere Terrace in Ocean Crest Saturday night around 8:30. We're freezing the video before the shocking moment when police say the man suddenly pulled out a gun and shot Panthier in the head twice. His father can't fathom why.
The guy was walking side by side with my son, like friends. To me, that looked like friends. And he just turned and shot him, just like that. My son didn't have time to look like this.
The shooter ran off, leaving Panthier for dead. Police arrived moments later. He was rushed to the hospital, but did not survive. His family says they ate dinner together Saturday night, and that's the last time they saw him.
He's more normally home, so we keep looking for him. My daughter kept looking and said, where's JR? Where's JR? Because that's not normal. And Sunday came in, he wasn't home. So I myself went home, I started crying. I said, he must be dead or something, because my son doesn't stay home like this.
Police sources say Panthier had no criminal record and no evidence of gang ties. The family says they moved from the Caribbean island Dominica to Brooklyn more than a year ago. Panthier studied economics and made music, hoping for better opportunities in New York City.
He was a teacher at home, then he went to study. He went to a leadership conference, like future leaders from Dominica and all over Caribbean, Barbados. And they did an IQ test, and his IQ was equals to Einstein's IQ.
His father says his son was quiet and didn't know many people in the city yet. The family says they do not recognize the suspect and just want answers. In Far Rockaway, Queens, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
We're also getting a better look at exactly how things unfolded during the mass shooting on Saturday. Shows 3 men involved in a fist fight before 2 of them took out guns and shot one another. Because of its graphic nature, we are not going to show you certain parts of the video, but it does lay out exactly how things unfolded. NBC 10's Danny Freeman also live with us in Queen Village tonight to walk us through that video. Danny, that footage playing a major part of the police investigation, right?
That's absolutely right, Jim. You know, we've seen some cell phone footage before, but this new video is absolutely stunning because we really get an idea of what happened before, during, and after the shooting that started off all the chaos that night on South Street. Now, as you said, a lot of this footage is pretty graphic, so we're going to be freezing and blurring some of the most sensitive parts.
Just after 11:30 last Saturday night, you can see 2 men walking east on South Street towards 2nd Street. The man in the white is Gregory Japan Jackson, according to the district attorney's office. U.S. Marshals confirm the man in denim is 34-year-old Rashawn Vereen. As the two approach this man in black, who the DA's office identified as Micah Towns, Jackson pulls out a gun. Then Vereen grabs Towns. The 3 struggle and fight, with Towns being thrown first against a window, then to the ground in the middle of the street. That's when Jackson fires. From the ground, Towns takes out a gun and fires back at Jackson and Vereen as the 2 run away. Jackson is hit and falls to the ground. He crawls away, but won't get up again. Towns shuffles back to the other side of the street, and police finally run up, but you can see bullets are still flying at this point. The video seems to then show Vereen pick up something. Authorities say that it's Jackson's gun. Vereen then stays with Jackson as he bled out on the sidewalk. Vereen was arrested by U.S. Marshals last night and is now facing attempted murder charges. Towns is considered a victim by the DA's office.
Now, back out live, you can see that part of that window that was shot in that shooting now replaced by cardboard. Meanwhile, I actually spoke briefly with Vereen's wife today. She had no comment on her husband's arrest. Now, I should note what we don't see in this video is that alleged 3rd shooter, that's 18-year-old Karan Gardner, who was accused of firing back towards the area of the initial confrontation. He currently is in custody. For now, live in South Street, Danny Freeman, NBC 10 News.
Do you experience anxiety in social or group settings? If so, you may be able to participate in our research study of it.
comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be coming out with more footage of the terrorists that's going on around all the ghettos. Peace and God bless.